அவ்வளோதான். இது வீடியோ சொல்லுங்க.
போங்க. பொறித்து மேல தூக்கி
ஆ. ஆ.
கொடுங்க நாளைக்கு நம்ம ஃப்ரீ சார் இப்படி ஒர்க் பண்ணி
ஓ! ஆன் பண்ணிடுவா?
பண்ணிருவோம்.
ஆமாமா. போட்டுடலாமா? வாங்க நீங்க.
Hello all, I'm Guna Madhivanan from Officers IAS Academy. Friends, we are coming up with an exclusive live quiz program based on current affairs targeting 2024 prelims on a weekly basis. So every Saturday at 6 p.m. in our Officers Path channel, we will be coming up with this live quiz program. So how to participate? So for which you have to install an mobile application. So go to either App Store or the Google Play Store to download this application named Kahoot application. Download and install it. Right. So every Saturday at 6 p.m. in the live video, I will be giving you a 7-digit PIN. So you have to enter that 7-digit PIN in your installed application. In the Kahoot application, you have to enter that 7-digit PIN. Or we will give you a QR code if you are not interested in installing the application.
Okay.
You can scan the QR code in the web browser. You can open the web page. In that you can enter this 7-digit PIN number and you can participate in this quiz program. So once you enter the 7-digit number, the application will ask you to give a username. So you have to give your username. Followed by your username, please give your last 4 digits of your mobile phone number. For example, my username is Guna8990, the last 4 digits of my phone number. So like that you can create your own username. That's all. You are ready to participate in the quiz. So in the live video, I will be showing you the question. The question will be followed by 4 options as usual, A, B, C, D. The 4 options will have a color code, right? So option A, red color, option B, blue color, option C, green color, option D, yellow color. So the 4 options will have 4 different color codes. So in your mobile phone, you have installed the Kahoot application, right? So the Kahoot application in your phone, in your device, it will show you 4 colored box, only 4 colored box. Only in the video which you are watching, in that live video, I will give you the question. Followed by that 4 option, I will be giving you. That 4 option will have a color code, right? So if you are going to choose A as the right answer, then A has red color, then in your mobile phone you will have a red colored box. You have to choose that. That's all. If the answer which you have chosen is correct, and if you have chosen that quickly, for every question we will give you 60 seconds. Assume that I am choosing A is the right answer, and I am choosing within 20 seconds, within 10 seconds, based on how quickly I choose the question. I have to choose the correct one and I have to choose it as early as possible. So the one who is choosing at the earliest will be given more points. So if I am choosing in 20 seconds, I will be given more points. If someone is choosing at 30 seconds, then relatively lesser points, right? So this is how the quiz will work. So at the end of the program, we will show you the leaderboard. Between the questions also, I will show you the leaderboard. At the end, I will show you the final leaderboard. The one with more number of points will be given a certificate, right? The idea of the quiz program is to provide you a real-time experience of solving the questions along with that competitive environment, right? I hope this program adds more value to your preparation. So along with this, we have a daily current affairs hit list series, daily answer rating initiative. So all these initiatives will give you a competitive edge in your 2024 prelims as well as mains, right? I hope this adds more value to your preparation. So see you in the quiz. Till then, bye, take care.
Hello everybody, this is Deepuk Sukumar, faculty for Ethics and Public Administration at Officers IAS Academy. So I will be the host for today's quiz, and without any delays, we can get started. So let's go with the first question. Okay, it's about the reverse repo. Surely all have completed. Fantastic. Significant majority, I think around 24 people have gotten the right answer, which is D. Now, see what you need to keep in mind is if you're someone who is starting out in preparation for this exam, with respect to economics in prelims, okay, questions specific to RBI monetary policy, this area is probably 40% of it. Okay, nearly 30 to 40%. It's a very big percentage, okay, because there are so many other topics in economics, but RBI and monetary policy alone would give you about 40% of coverage of economics in UPSC prelims. And while preparing, we always need to give higher weightage to areas that have a higher proportion in the number of questions. Just like how in environment, you need to be giving the highest weightage to pollution, number one, climate change, number two, number three, conservation. So similarly, when it comes to economics, highest weightage to RBI and monetary. And repo, there is one more thing called reverse repo. Okay. So increasing repo, yes, it reduces money supply. Increasing reverse repo also reduces the money supply. So repo and reverse repo both move in the same direction. Okay. So don't think it's the opposite of repo. Therefore, it works in the opposite way. That's not true. Both repo and reverse repo move in the same direction, and an increase of both results in reduction of money supply. Okay, great. Let's move on to the second question. Leaderboard, yeah. Let's look at the leaderboard. Martin Luther is the king of this round. Great show. So let's move on to the second question. Radiocarbon dating. Okay, let's see. It's a tough one. Okay. A and C nearly equal number have taken, but just a little more who've gotten the answer correctly. Very good show. So obviously, those who've gotten it right would know that it's not carbon 6, but carbon 14 that is used in radiocarbon dating. And another important thing to note about radiocarbon dating is that it is used in the measurement of age of organic carbon, right? Not inorganic carbon. So that's a very crucial marker for radiocarbon dating. So some might think it is also used in non-organic carbon, but it is not. Okay. So let's move on to the next question and let's see the leaderboard. See if okay, money has taken over is number 1. Someone's up 10 places. Yoshri, great job. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Easy one, very easy one. Still thinking. Okay, very good. Hands down, the correct answer had the highest number of pickers. So, see, this is a very easy one, right? Because UNESCO, UN, so the first statement, correct? But then, if you look at what UPSC would do, something that is so obvious would actually be wrong because they would want to eliminate people who are laymen trying to make guesses. They don't want that kind of people clearing the exam, right? So if something is like too obvious, it is usually wrong in the case of the actual exam in UPSC. Okay, but in this case, it's not. We are not trying to do what UPSC is doing. And the second one, of course, to go to any World Heritage site, it's called a UNESCO World Heritage site. So good. Okay, leaderboard. So with this question, timing would have been everything. Money is retaining his position as 1. Gokul, 3 correct answers in a row, but I think timing is a bit off and that's why you're not at the top. Okay, very good. Let's move. Bacteria. Let's see. Okay, D is the correct answer and the majority have picked A as the correct answer. See, the takeaway for UPSC is that it's very important for one to know which of the major diseases are caused by what microorganisms. So, what's caused by bacteria, what's caused by fungi, what's caused by protozoa, what's caused by virus. So, I think at least for the major diseases, I think it's important that you know what causes what. So So yeah, good show for this question. Let's check the leaderboard. Mani is holding his place. Chakri is also holding her place. Very good. Okay, let's move to the next question. SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, so B and D very close. See, usually psychologically we have this tendency to not pick neither one or two as the option, right? Somewhere we feel, see, they've asked a question, they've given two options. How can it be neither? But of course, in UPSC, such questions also tend to be, I mean, such options also tend to be right. Neither one or two tends to be right. So I think that's the reason why some have picked two. So that is why nearly equal number of people have picked B as the correct answer. So what's the takeaway for UPSC? Okay, so the question, I mean, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, of course, most of you would know that Shanghai is in China. So commonsensically, you might assume that it includes countries that are around China. But when you collect data for such topics, instead of trying to remember what is there, try to remember what is not there, you know. If you know that this is basically the region where most of these countries are there, now you take all these stans, okay, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan. Among this lot, there is Turkmenistan, which is not a member of the SCO, right? So if you're preparing for SCO, it is important to note that Turkmenistan is actually not there, right? Rather than trying to remember which stans are there, try and remember what is not there, right, among the Central Asian countries. And of course, for such a topic, also important to note whether India is there or not there, right? So founding member is one, regular member is another, right? So India and Pakistan, whether they are in or out, is something that you also need to know. And the, the, the data or the fact that you need to know here is that Uzbekistan, which is a member of the SCO, does not actually share a border with China, right? So this is what you need to know about this particular question. Okay, let's check the leaderboard. Have things changed? Yes, he has dropped. Shakti Devi has aced and at the top. And I see that Anna Dharmas has also gone up in ranking. Okay, let's move. FASTag. Okay, interesting. Answer is A, and actually the majority have gotten the answer correctly. Nearly equally shared by D. You've gone for all three. See, what usually happens in prelims is that people walk out of the examination hall thinking they've done really well, but then when they check the key, things have gone miserably wrong. The reason is that a lot of beginners who are not rightly initiated into the MCQ testing process, they hunt first for what is right. Okay? This is a big mistake. You need to be running after what is wrong. Your eyes need to first be trained to look at, okay, this is wrong. First look at what is wrong. Then by elimination arrive at the right option rather than running first after what is right. Just this difference alone can make a huge difference, in the score that you actually get in prelims. So the third statement here is wrong, and if you're eliminating the third statement, automatically D goes away, and you're left with 1 and C. So between 1 and C, if you evaluate, then you can arrive at the right answer. And it's very clear. If you look at statement 2, it just can't be wrong, right? Everyone knows that these FASTags are rechargeable, and it enables a cashless payment. And hope you all know what is like the next generation after FASTag. So after FASTag, the Union Minister for Roadways, Nitin Gadkari, has announced that going forward, we might start satellite-based deduction, right, instead of using RFID and FASTags. Okay, so let's look at the leaderboard now. Kushri, fantastic performance, fantastic. Okay, answer streak of 6 correct answers. Great. Okay, let's move to the next question. On NAM, non-aligned movement. Okay, very good. The highest number of takers have the correct answer by a huge margin. Great. And just one thing that I forgot to mention from a couple of questions earlier, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. See, with respect to geography, okay, around 60 to 70% of geography questions in prelims actually are from maps. Okay, maps meaning obviously they don't give you the actual map, and it's not about marking on the maps. So they basically ask like, what are the neighboring countries, which sea does it open into, stuff like that, right? And these questions are actually very predictable. Usually areas in conflict, okay, some kind of conflict happening in some part of the world tends to be a favorite with respect to that choice of question. For instance, for 2 years straight, we had a question on countries that border Ukraine. Okay, so here is where there is this overlap between international relations and geography. So areas in the news with respect to whatever in international relations should actually be learned in the context of also the maps. For instance, Israel-Palestine has been in the news for quite some time now. Next year, maybe it's very possible that you get a question on maps in that particular region. So always keep that in mind. And also environment and geography overlap areas also very important. Okay, coming to non-aligned movement. India is a founding member of NAM. Yes, of course. Those with a little bit of initiation into Indian history, you will know about the role that Jawaharlal Nehru played in setting up NAM as an institution. But see, the problem with NAM, so what is NAM all about? Non-aligned movement, right? You're not aligned with any of the global power blocks. See, but from there until today, if you look at India's foreign policy, this non-aligned movement was too idealistic. That we'll be independent, we'll not side, we'll be impartial. In the modern realm, okay, if you look at international relations, foreign affairs, the validity of NAM has gone down drastically. Okay, so from the idealism of the Nehruvian era, today we speak of realism in international relations. So it's not non-alignment anymore. Today it's about multi-alignment, right? So if it suits us, we are friends with China on a certain issue. If it suits our interest, we are friends with America on another issue. Okay, so it's like there are no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. Now, there are only permanent interests, right? Wherever India's interest is maximized, you align with that particular country, right? So there's no question of we are completely detached, we'll be on our own, we'll be independent. No, today it's about multi-alignment, right? So that's how international relations has changed since the Nehruvian era. Okay, so next question, we'll look at the leaderboard before that. Yoshri is still holding the top position. Jenny is the highest climber. Very good. Money is still somewhere there. Okay, in the top 5. Good. Gokul is a very consistent performer. He's from the beginning been in the top 5. So let's look at the next question. Very difficult. Like I wouldn't know the answer to it. Let's see. I wouldn't be bothered if most of you actually get this wrong. Doesn't matter. C is the correct answer, and the majority of you gotten C correctly. I hope you've not cheated in this question. But if you haven't, good show. Okay, so if you look at items with GI tags, okay, if you look at the number of items that have GI tags in India, the number would be like huge. Okay, so many items are covered under GI. Okay, now let's assume this is an important topic because it's been in the news. One particular banana variety in Kerala has a GI tag, etc. Now, always your effort should yield a good return, right? So this effort to yield, this ratio needs to be very high. Now, if you look at the effort to yield with respect to GI, okay, let's say there are 300 items that have GI tags in India. Does it make sense to memorize all these 300? Okay, and hope that there might, it's still only a might. You may or may not get a question, but imagine how much of a load this puts on your memory. When you see a topic like that, even if you think it's important, just skip, just don't be bothered by it. It's fine if you don't attempt such a question. Okay, so that's what I would like to tell about this GI topic. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, leaderboard Yoshri is the top. Money is now come back up into 3rd place. Very good. Let's look at the next. blue flag program. What beaches? Answer is 2. Okay. I think 22 have picked was the correct answer. Okay. See, there is a technique. In prelims questions, if one of the statements has the name of any organization, okay, such statements are typically wrong. So I did a statistical analysis of the last 10 year questions and I found that about 80% of the time, a statement that has the name of an organization ends up being, okay, particularly international organization. So if you would apply that technique here, actually you would get the answer correctly because the first statement is wrong here and the option is the correct answer is 2 only, which is B. And with respect to techniques, okay, out of curiosity, if you want to see what kind of techniques are there, you can actually visit my Telegram channel. It's by my name. Most of our students here would already know about it. Just my name, DEPUK space SUKUMAR. You search for it on Telegram and you'll find my prelims group. Okay, out of curiosity, is Marina Beach covered under this blue flag program? I think the Skovalam beaches. Marina, I'm not sure. Okay, let's look at the leaderboard. He's still at top. Money is now moved into second. Very good. Google is still a consistent performer. He's still there in top 5. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Gold imports. Tough one. You've not prepared well for economics, not like prelims ready, then I don't think the beginner you might be able to. Okay, the correct answer is C. Again, majority have picked C as the correct answer. Now, the import of gold into India is quite problematic, right? So why do you often see cases of people getting caught for smuggling gold? It's a serious problem, right? And if you look at the first statement here, importing huge amounts of gold might lead to depreciation of the rupee. So what the purchase of gold from abroad, importing gold does it that is that it depletes a lot of our foreign exchange. And when you have more money chasing after the dollar, it results in, it's basically demand and supply, right? When you have more demand for something, the price of it goes up. So this results in the appreciation of the dollar and the depreciation of. Okay? So that's basically because of demand and supply. You see that import of gold actually results in the depreciation of rupee. Number two, gold monetization scheme and sovereign gold bond scheme helps reduce the current account deficit. See, first, what you need to do for what you need to understand here is that what is this current account deficit? What role does the import of gold play in the current account deficit? And then you look at how the gold monetization scheme and the sovereign gold bond scheme help in this regard. So this is not for beginners, this particular question. You need to know economics quite well to be able to get this right. And what is this current account deficit? Of course, for those who already know, it's exports minus imports plus net income from abroad and net transfer, right? So this is basically the formula for current account deficit. But I'm happy that a good number of you gotten the answer correctly. Let's see if there is any change in the leaderboard. Yoshri is still at top. Actually, Priya and Ponraj are, they're also again like very consistent performers. Good, good. Next. International Whaling Commission. Okay, the answers are very well distributed, but still the majority have, not the majority, the highest number of people have gotten A correctly. Like it's like the first past the post system, not majority, right? Okay, International Whaling Commission, with the respect to this question, what should you know? Cetacean conservation. What does this include? The cetacean? Whales, dolphins, porpoises, of this under the category of cetacean. And of course, Norway and Iceland have they're exempted from the limits set by IWC for whaling. They set their own limits, but I think they report to the IWC on how many whales they've got that year. Works like that. And India is not a party to the IWC. So by eliminating 3, again, you could have gotten close to the answer. Okay, let's see the leaderboard now. Oh, Priya's now moved up to the top. Fantastic. Nice. And Martin Luther, interesting, has made a mega comeback into the top 5. Great job. Okay, let's move on. OPEC plus. Which countries are members and not? Okay, again, like distributed, but a good number have gotten the right answer. Now, with respect to this question, all you had to know was that China is not a part of OPEC plus. Right? So if you just eliminate China, you basically are left with you are still left with two options. Okay. Yeah, kind of difficult, and I think that's also reflected in the answers that you've given between B and C. It is well distributed, and a topic like OPEC becomes important given the nature of tension that exists in the Middle East today. Iran, Israel right now, and what implication that might have for the global crude oil supply and prices and so on and so forth. And both Iran and Saudi are a part of the OPEC, two very major producers of crude oil from the region. Let's look at the UST is come back to return her position. Great, and Dano is the highest climber, five places up. Okay, let's move on to the next question. About Cess. Cess and surcharge, very important topic. Okay. B and C, we have most number of questions. C is the correct answer. So one thing very interesting about this topic is that this topic is at the intersection of polity and economics. And where is the polity coming in here? In the distribution of the divisible pool, right? So it's one of the most controversial things. You look at a lot of editorials that discuss the relationship between central government and the state governments and the transfer of funds from the central governments to the state governments. The big question that's asked is now, why is Cess not shared with the state? Okay, so, and of course, the second option here pertains exactly to that it does not form a part of the divisible pool of taxes. That is, from the kitty that the central government has, this part alone, Cess, is not shared with the state governments. And also, you need to understand how is Cess different from surcharge. Okay, check the leaderboard. He's come down. Pondraj has come up now. That's where consistency actually really helps, right? Pondraj so far has never been first, but when it actually matters, he's there right at the top. Sure. Priya also. Okay, let's move on to the next question. 14. Joint Lunar Space Station. Which two countries? Very curious if you would be getting it correctly. The options have been set quite well. Oh, for the first time, we are saying the highest number of takers for the wrong option. India and US. This is what is called familiarity bias. Once when you're familiar with something, you tend to think that is the right answer. So I think India needs to be somewhere here. And if you look at these pairings, you need to think about these pairings, right? So if you look at relationships historically over there between countries, the relationship between China and Russia has been very, very, very consistent. More consistent than any of the other relationships that you see here. Japan and USA, of course, the friendship has been very strong in the last few decades. But okay, not bad. Yeah, and US. Okay. Let's see how this has now affected the leaderboard. Ponraj. Good job, Ponraj. Yeah, very good again. Okay, okay. The last question, I think. Yeah. This is about juvenile justice. Okay, so good number have gotten the answer correctly, the majority, but very good. So with respect to this question, see, it's important that you understand the definition of a child according to the major laws in India and also the definition of juvenile. And for the first time, when people were really talking about this difference between juvenile and an adult in recent times was when this Nirbhaya incident happened, right? So one of the uh, uh, people who'd been involved in the crime was a juvenile. So that's when people really discussed what is this juvenile, why should this person, so not an adult, but has still committed a very heinous crime, right? So why should this guy not be tried as an adult? Was the question that was raised. So generally, this Juvenile Justice Act, POCSO Act, very, very important for. Let's finally see the leaderboard. Priya's fantastic second. Yuashri has come second, and Ponraj, I'm guessing, is yeah, of course, fantastic, fantastic, Ponraj, and I mean others have also, I'm guessing, done a good job. See, this is a don't really take if you've not done too well, you've been there somewhere at the top and suddenly you're not there in top 3, it's totally fine, because there are a lot of factors that determine, and I'm seeing here, right, like one inaccuracy and the ranks change a lot. So, but congratulations to those who won. Had a lot of fun hosting this quiz. And there's something about business here. Let me get closer to the screen to read out what is there. Please capture a screenshot of your position and send it along with your full name and phone number. Okay, to this WhatsApp number. Guessing it's visible to you, right? So I don't have to read out the number. So thank you very much for being a part of the session. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.